General Geo, you've been on the job since last year. Have you received any illegal orders this year?
Senator, I've never received any illegal orders throughout my career.
Never once in your entire career.
I have never.
You've been around for a while, haven't you?
Yes, sir, I have.
Okay. Mr. Young, I'll just continue down that order. I mean, you have lawyers to make sure that people act lawfully. That's why our combatant commanders have JAGs, why the president has lawyers, why this committee has lawyers, why business executive has lawyers. And isn't it the case that non-lawyers, laymen, don't always know what the law is? Is that so?
Yes, Senator, that's true.
And in your long and illustrious career as a lawyer, I'm sure you've had a client who's asked you whether some course of action is lawful or not, and you've had to tell them, no, that's not lawful, right?
Most certainly, Senator.
And that's why we have lawyers around, is to help inform the decisions of responsible persons who are laymen and who are not actually lawyers, right?
Yes, Senator.
Is there a presumption of lawfulness of orders in the military?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There is a presumption of lawfulness, not only in the Uniform Code of Military Justice, but the Supreme Court precedents that's long established, going back more than 150 years, says that whenever a statutory authority is given to the president, that it's presumed that he is acting in accordance with that law, and longstanding Supreme Court precedent that deals with the necessity for a valid presumption of lawfulness in an order that's issued by the president.
Okay, thank you. Let's turn to some other basic questions of constitutional law. I know that you're familiar with them from your time in the department. Does the president, not just this president, but does any president have the constitutional authority to federalize the National Guard to protect innocent life and property?
Senator, the answer to that is, in the Constitution, the states relegated their authority to Congress to be able to call forth the militia in times of exigent circumstances. Congress, in turn, granted that authority to the president through federal statute, which remains in effect today and is the basis for these current deployments.
And that authority extends even to states that refuse to mobilize their National Guard, or where governors oppose the president executing that constitutional authority. Is that right?
That's certainly true, sir. We have, in the course of history, been in circumstances where the president's had to mobilize National Guard over the objection of a governor.
Okay. Can you cite any specific precedent of that?
Yes, Senator Cotton, Little Rock, Arkansas.
I thought you might say that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's a very regrettable moment in our state's history when our Democratic governor mobilized the National Guard specifically to obstruct an order to desegregate Little Rock Central High School in 1957, which then forced President Eisenhower to immediately federalize the Guard to ensure those students could actually go to school in accordance with that order. I think I'll just leave it there and say thank you all for your testimony and for your service. And I want to join my colleagues in expressing prayers on behalf of all Arkansans for Specialist Sarah Beckstrom's family and for the continued rapid recovery of Sergeant Andrew Wolf, and support and prayers for all of our Guardsmen, whether they're mobilized right now across the country or somewhere around the world, to include the Arkansas National Guard, who just got here to Washington, D.C. and got out on patrol. So thank you all.